You can start your own painting company if you like. I certainly did. But if you want to get into a business that's recession resistant, where you can grow faster and have so many of the necessary things that you're going to have already taken care of for you, systems, processes, estimating, and coaching, you're going to get there a lot faster. Think of it this way. You can you can learn how to golf all by yourself and you'll get okay. But if you had Tiger Woods mentoring you, or just a PGA golf pro mentoring you every single day, how much faster do you think you could become a good golfer? And that's what I think our franchising is all about. Is I've done this for 33 years. I grew my business to 25 guys working. We were doing about $2 million a year. And you get that kind of coaching and support and mentorship that'll help you get there a lot faster.
Okay, so David, let's talk a little bit about what makes an ideal franchisee for Klappenberger and Son.
Well, it's got to be somebody. It can be any sex, any race, any religion. That doesn't matter. Don't have to have any previous experience either. But it needs to be somebody who can take the good with the bad. When you have your own business, whether you buy a franchise or not, I think you're going to have fewer mistakes if you buy a franchise because you're going to have somebody working with you. But you're going to have days that are bad, and you're going to have, and even in that same day, you're going to have something that happens that's really good. So you got to be able to handle the ups and downs of a business. You got to roll up your sleeves. You have to understand that it's very hard to be a business owner, but it's also, there's probably nothing quite as rewarding for a career as having your own baby as a being your business.
Very true. I often say that, the in business, 80% is the systems, the operations, all the things that people generally don't even think about. And only 20% is really the product, the widget or the tool or the service that you're providing. And you guys have built an amazing system to help anybody who wants to get into the painting industry to seamlessly adopt. But do they have to have a background or an experience in paint contracting in order to run this franchise successfully?
No, in fact, I put it together so it was made for people with no experience. Most of the people who come in fact, nobody's had any experience, but most of the people come from like a management level in a corporation. They don't like the corporate world. They find it toxic for a multitude of reasons, and they just want to get the hell out. And they feel like if they have their own business, then they can control the culture of their own business. They can control their own destiny. They can see their kids' soccer games or whatever they can do. They can plan their life a lot more.
I like that. I like that a lot. So in this model that you have, paint contracting, is there a particular niche that you're looking to kind of capitalize on as far as type of contracts? Is it industrial or home residential? What are some of the main areas of focus?
Well, good question. We are what I would call a libertarian approach franchise where, man, when I was doing this, I did remodeling, I did bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, did decks. I even put up some roofs, which was punishing. But what I didn't do is I didn't like to say no to work. And what we're finding out is that, yeah, I did commercial work. I worked at the White House, worked at the Smithsonian, I worked at the Pentagon, did about 20,000 residential jobs. I were hospitals, schools, churches, all that stuff. And I never wanted to say no to work. A lot of franchises you buy, it's just painting and maybe a little bit of replacing rotten wood. But we just had a true story, man. This week we have somebody who got an $80,000 flooring job and a $50,000 painting job, same job. So it's $140,000 worth of work, or $130,000 worth of work. 80 is flooring, 50 of it's painting. And if you were just a franchise that said, no, we just do painting, you just lost $80,000. I mean, and you're going to sub that whole thing out. The guy's probably going to make, a lot of money, 10, 15, $20,000. Easy 15 off that job. And why would you want to say no to that? Because you just have a flooring guy that you have a relationship with, and you do it. If you didn't have a flooring guy, you would pass on it.
Right. So you're gonna build a Rolodex of other industry professionals that and what you can tap.
Yeah, so we have multiple revenue streams. We do commercial, we do residential, we don't do industrial. We stay away from new construction a lot. We don't do, I tell my guys, don't do new construction, and don't paint apartments, because the margins are so low, So it's one of these things, sort of like a golf pro. I'll tell you, stay away from this. I play some golf now, and stay away from the woods, stay away from the water, take a safe shot and make up for it later. Yeah.
That's a great point. Now, I know that you do offer a military incentive for any veterans or active military who are looking to do this as well. Can you give us some details on that?
Yeah. Look, anybody who put their life on the line for our country deserves a discount. And ours is the most generous discount of any franchise that I've seen. I'm sure I haven't looked at everybody's, but in our industry, we give a $7,000 discount from 47 to 40. So yeah, and we have 4 franchisees right now out of our 8 who are veterans. One's a Navy SEAL guy, 22 years as a Navy SEAL, tough guy, doing really well. Has an incredibly high close rate. It's funny, when he talks with so much authority. He's like, he's got a testimonial where he says, and I looked at other painting franchises, period, but here's what none of them had.
I love that.
Put that nail in there, Ron. So he's a good sales guy, and yeah, we like our veterans.
All right, that's a wonderful program. Now let's talk a little bit about the onboarding, if you can. Just give me a little bit of set the stage and the expectations for when somebody first engages with Klappenberger and Son. What is that experience like? Who are they talking to? And what's the typical timeline as far as getting them onboarded?
You mean when they're a candidate and not a franchisee? Correct. Yeah. It's a pretty slow process, and we certainly are not a strong sale company. The last thing I want to do is talk somebody into buying a franchise. It doesn't work that way. It's a huge decision that you need to make. So we have multiple conversations. The first thing we would do is have a 15-minute conversation, probably with Bruce, who works with us. And then he'll walk you through a PowerPoint presentation that we put together that really, what I always say is you open up the hood, you take a look at inside, and you get to see every piece of the puzzle that we offer. Everything is there. Everything that you need to grow a business is there. The estimating, the marketing, how to deal with subcontractors, how to get jobs, how to close jobs. It's all there. Every single mistake that I've made, I've created lessons, and you'll see that. I mean, you won't go deep into the training. Then you get the FDD, if this is something you like, which is the franchise disclosure document, which is basically the contract that you'll be signing. You do validation calls. You call up all the franchisees you want. We'll give you everybody's phone number. Just call them all, and you should. And you can ask them any single question you want. How much money are you making? Do you like it? Is Dave any good? How's the support and training? Whatever you want to ask them, you can ask them. And a franchisee who doesn't like me is going to let you know. You know, a franchisee who does like me, they're going to let you know. Nobody's going to defend someone they don't like. So you get the skinny on. It's probably the most important thing you can do.
Great. And then talk to me just for a second about the support. When first getting started, what can they expect for training and what are the timelines there? And then on an as needed basis, how frequently or by what methods can they engage with your support team?
Well, our training is 6 weeks. Most people training, believe it or not, is 1 or 2 weeks. And I always ask, you know, Jeffrey, I'll ask you, could you teach me your job in 2 weeks?
No,
How
no,
would I do?
it'd be rough.
It'd be rough. And even if you were there, I could call you up for phone calls. It would still be rough. It'd be rough for you. It'd be rough for me. It would be rough for the customers. It would be rough for everybody. Nobody would enjoy me running your company after 2 weeks of training. And how can it be different with the paint? We do painting, remodeling. You got to learn how to estimate. You got to learn how to do sales. You got to learn how to hire. You got to learn paint products, how to apply them. You know, why does paint peel? You know, all these things, there's just so much to learn.
Yeah, great.
Our training 6 weeks.
Love it.
And we take 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, we go to your place. We're going to spend 2 weeks with you. And all those things that we've been going over, all that role playing we've been doing, all this learning, we're going to do it now in real time. We're going to start hiring subcontractors together, interviewing them, hiring them, giving estimates together, closing some jobs hopefully together, getting started. So everything you're learning it in real time now. You know, and nobody else does that. Everybody else they pat you on the back and they say, hey man, remember what I said? Call me if you have any question.
Good luck.
You know, I just
That's
you
great
know,
to hear. I know that training is absolutely the cornerstone of a successful business launch and making sure that they are prepared to handle the inevitable challenges they're facing. So I love to hear that you invest so heavily in their launch.
had a guy just yesterday. He has a big job he wanted me to take a look at, and you know, it turned out to be a $250,000 job.
Wow, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you know, and he sent me the plans and we went over it together. Now, I'm not going to do all the work for him, but if you're going to send me plans, we're going to do a Zoom meeting and we're going to work through this together because I want you to learn how to do this because I can't, you know, I'm here to teach you and train you and mentor you, not to be your estimator.
Right, right. Well said. What markets is Klappenberger and Son primarily focused on expanding into this year, 2023, and into 2024?
Well, there are some areas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, you know, but with that said, I am more interested in the quality of the candidate than I am the territory. Give me a great candidate in a town that has 200,000 people in it, and we'll make a lot of money. Give me a you know, a poor candidate in Miami, and it's not going to be good for anybody.
Yep. Okay. Well said. I like that. Now, can you just give us a little bit of perspective as it relates to a day in the life of a contractor and what are the expectations as far as the seasonal aspects of painting? Is this something where 9 months of the year are busy and then there's a downtime? And why would that be if that's the case?
Okay. Believe it or not, even in the warm climate of Texas, they have a slow season, just like they do in Columbus, Ohio. But it has to do with nobody wants you in their house during the Christmas time. Christmas lights are up. They stay up for about a month or so. Some people want to do their taxes, is a reason why things can get a little bit delayed. But once March through we're busy almost, you know, it's like right on the money. 2 weeks into March, 2 weeks to December, into December, we're busy. Things start slowing down a little bit the first week of December. but there's still often people have booked up work and pushed it into the middle of December. And then things drop. They drop like you're almost by a half to 2/3. So it does give you time to go on vacation, to spend time with your family over the holidays, and to sort of go through your books and see how, do another evaluation, even though with us, we do that every 2 weeks. So that's not quite, but there is a predictable slow period.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And this is really a full-time operation, right? Generally speaking, this wouldn't be a side project that somebody would
It
get.
won't work. I'm investing way too much time with somebody to turn this into a part-time job. And our territories are 500 to 800,000 people big, sometimes even a little bit bigger than 800,000. And most franchises are giving out territories around 150 to 250,000 people. So I'm giving big territories because I want people to grow. I don't want any issues like, well, I'm bumping elbows with the other Klappenberger and Son franchises. No, you got plenty of room to grow something substantial, plenty of room to have 50, 60, 70 people working.
Since you mentioned the territories, let's talk a little bit about cost. What does it cost to get into a Klappenberger and Son franchise, and what do they get for that?
It's about well, the FDD has that. It's about 85 on the low end to about 116 on the high end, and some of that depends on how much you want to ramp up, how much money you want to put into marketing, things like that. What I would recommend that you do, very much so, is I have a video where I compare the FDD of 6 other painting franchises and 4 other handyman franchises, and what we want to look at is if Jeffrey, if you grossed $1 million in my franchise, how much money are you paying to the franchisor in mine? If you did $1 million in sales in somebody else's franchise, how much are you paying? And what we found out is some of them you'd be paying over a 10-year period, because these contracts are 10 years. Over a 10-year period, Jeffrey, you'd be paying as much as $650,000 more for
Wow.
some of these franchises because of their ongoing fees and their higher royalty rate, or their higher, they have technical services, or they have, this or that, they have software fees, they have all these things. And you got to look at, it's item 6 and item 7. It has the ongoing fees and the startup fees. You really want to take a look at them very, very closely. It's easy to do. This isn't hard to do. Get the FDD and look at it. And you'll see that we're the only franchise, I know I'm going off track just a little bit, but we're the only franchise that actually reduces the royalty rate as you make more money. So if you're having a really good year and you're grossing over $1 million, your royalty rate drops from 6% to 4% for the rest of the year. Anything you do over $1 million.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's a great differentiation. Glad you mentioned that. Now,
Yeah.
And we'll wrap it up here. You also offer a guarantee.
Yes.
Tell us about
that. If you're willing to take that, trust me, to be, to be your route to entrepreneurship, I owe something to you. And if you follow our system, our marketing system, which is real simple, I want you to meet people. I want you to meet property managers, realtors, facility managers, people who work at hospitals and schools and things like that. If you meet 4 of those people every month, four new people every month for 20 months, and you don't generate $500,000 in gross revenue during that period of time, I'll give you back your franchise fee in full, either the $40,000 or the $47,000.
Wow, that's a great guarantee. And you're exactly right. This is all about networking, because when hiring a contractor, it's so relationship and trust is such a big factor in that. So working with organizations and individuals who can give a referral, those are going to be the ones that get your phone ringing.
Yeah, and you can meet with them. And we just hooked up with a company called Castanet. And that's who exactly we're targeting. We're targeting facility managers. And the way that's looking so far is it's looking like that for just signing up with Castanet and using Castanet, they'll be able to get these appointments or have these contacts, these conversations with facility managers. Maybe I think they might be able to hit 4 a month fairly easily.
Neat. So
And
you're
that
talking
work
about
is done for you, so you don't need to pick up the phone and call a facility manager. Castanet's a system where you send out emails to the person's LinkedIn and who are facility managers. They reach back to you, or they connect with you, and they want to have a conversation with you. That counts.
So you're providing the technology and the software to do lead generation to your franchisees that's virtually automated.
Yes, yes, and so many other things. So whether they want to go pay-per-click, we have a YouTube channel that gets about 250,000 views a year, and that helps out everybody's organic listing, their SEO. I'm getting just about every day now. I'm getting a request for, can you come to Indiana or Illinois or California and paint my house? I'm like, we don't have a franchise here. So, and it's because, we're just getting a little bit of national brand exposure through the YouTube channel.
Good for you. Well, David, I want to thank you for your time and for sharing your insights and details about this opportunity with Klappenberger and Son. This is really a fantastic business and a great business model. And you're a great leader. I've worked
thank you.
in the past, and I admire your passion and your commitment to each one of your franchisees. So thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.